Welcome back to iHeartRadio. So bad it's good. Today we've had a guest that I've wanted to speak to for so long. I'm going to have to ask about the show, but really I just want to hang out with him, party with him, know his philosophies about life. He's a raconteur, a bon vivant, a humorist, a ladies' man, an author, a son, a boyfriend, a jam band musician, and star of the hit Bravo reality show Southern Charm, celebrating its 8th season and 100 episodes. Shep Rose, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going? I am not a jam band musician. I'm a jam band musician enthusiast. I cannot play anything.
In your book, you said, weren't you like a part of a Grateful Dead jam band
when
you were younger?
I was the lead singer of a Grateful Dead cover band in high school. And we played China Cat Sunflower into I Know You Rider.
It was a 40-minute version, and they still talk about it. By the way, I'm wearing, you guys, my Craig is my lawyer shirt, my Shep gear. I've had this now for like 4 or 5 years, and I was like, oh my God, I've got to bust this out to really creep out Shep on the interview today.
No, that's awesome, man. You know, that shirt has a funny origin. My cousin married a girl from Chile, and we went down to Chile on the coast of Chile. It was amazing, and went to the wedding. And I was at this restaurant, and this guy passed by with a similar shirt, and I was like, "That's cool looking." And I go, "Do you mind if I take a picture with you?" So, whoever you are on the coast of Chile, I stole your idea, and I apologize.
Okay, so I just reread your book, actually, Average Expectations, Lowering the Bar, which you guys, I still recommend. It's way better than Craig's book. I'm just going to get that out there right now. We all know it. It's way better. It's on audiobook as well. But I love, I love the impression that you even talk about with reality shows is that wasn't even nowhere on your horizon or agenda or even a want or a need. You were working over in Dubai at a time. Why did your mind change? And when did you think it started to be cool for you?
Well, I came back from, I went to business school, and in between my first and second year of business school, I was lucky enough to get an internship in Dubai. This was 2000, the summer of 2008. So had a ball and got an offer to come back, a very nice, generous offer. And I was going to be an international businessman. I was going to live in Dubai and travel around the world and look at resorts to maybe purchase with all the oil money from UAE. And so fast forward a month and a half, September 2008, as you know, was a major crash in the market. And all of a sudden, there was no more jobs there. Nobody was answering the phone anymore. And I had to think on my feet. And I tried a few different things. It was pretty humbling. I was living at home. I was 30 years old, and I had a couple degrees, and there was nothing going on. So it kind of happened at the right time. I met Whitney at a rooftop party, and he said, and he was, it's a credit to Whitney because he's really smart guy and well-traveled and well-read. And so it wasn't like what I'd normally associate with reality TV, like a TV exec, like a smarmy TV exec trying to get me excited. So Whitney was actually smart and interesting. And so he kind of sold me on it.
Now, and I do love the Whitney that we see on TV is probably not the real Whitney in terms of the dude's kind of a businessman. He produces your show. I like that he's kind of in the butler role. Have you watched every episode? Do you even bother anymore? Does it upset you when you're focusing on the Taylor relationship this season, or they are? Is that just part of what goes along with this? Or are you like, man, this is my actual life. I don't want to risk anything.
I think this episode, most recent one, is our 100th episode. So I will say I've watched probably 90 out of 100, which isn't bad. Sometimes I'll just miss it. I'll be busy. I'll be somewhere. And sometimes, a lot of the times, I'll ask friends or castmates, "Hey, how was it? Should I watch it? Should I not?"
How bad was it?
Yeah, we get it a few days ahead of time. So you maybe to do some damage control, even though there's really nothing you can do. The die is cast, so to speak.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. And it, like your storyline, which a lot of people keep talking about with the Taylor situation, I'm assuming you guys are still together and all that stuff, but you're very open. It is interesting to see you kind of, and you question this in the book too, about like marriage and fatherhood. And you come from a family that has never had divorce in it. And you're very much like, I do not want to be the first one of that. You also talk about in the book of like not comparing yourself, but bringing up like George Clooney and people like that, of which way. I mean, are you softening as you grow older? And do you even know if you're going to know when it's the right time to settle down?
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to people about that recently. For a while in my late 20s and early 30s, like not only was I mentally not in a position to make that step, I wouldn't know how to like provide. I mean, I was a vagabond, like I wasn't.
And happy. You seem very happy with traveling, exploring, and kind of just making your own way.
I think this life is a grand experiment, and I'm really, really lucky to be able to do some of the things that I've done. And marriage and a kid sound a little like a sudden and sedentary change. And yeah, of course that makes me nervous and gives me pause. But I think, I don't know. I think having major shifts in your life can be totally rewarding and totally terrifying at the same time.
Yes, no. Each episode, I'm like, oh my God, is this like what's happening? Is like it could go any way. Even though I think you guys seem really strong, I think the audience is like, wow, you really stick to your guns. Of like, I'm not at this point budging. So I always find that
definitely felt like the crosshairs were on us this past season, and it's tough, it's tough enough to have a relationship that 1 million plus or 1.5 million.
Everybody comments on it. Like you have to hear.
Yeah.
Like if you're on Twitter, people are like, oh, come on, man, you got to settle down. Like, what is that like to have so many voices in your ear besides your family, besides your friends? Are you able 8 seasons later to tune all of that out? I'm like a huge fan of your Twitter account, and you go, political, all of your interests are out there, but I find it interesting if people try to come at you with what they think you should do with your life.
Yeah, I'm pretty adroit at tuning out voices that mean, I'm sorry, I appreciate your interest, but your opinion means nothing to me. You think you know me, and you probably do know a very good chunk of me, and especially if you read the book and been watching. But like, you don't know, and nobody really, and that funny thing is nobody really knows anybody. I mean, your family or whatever, but especially in relationships. And I always say the relationships that look the smoothest, there's probably, bodies buried underneath the house, kind of, like.
That's right. I mean, doing this in the early days for like you and Craig, and I mean, I guess Austin joined later, but was it like this? I mean, I don't want to was it kind of like this Rat Pack where all of a sudden you had a lot of attention, a lot of options in terms of women kind of throwing themselves at you? I mean, the heyday of this, you must have had some really wild times.
Yeah, I did. I tasted the fruits, and I had a lot of fun. By the way, life was good before this show. I mean, I was, all over the place and having a good time. But yeah, I mean, Austin and Craig, they listen to the chatter a little more. I think they're both off Twitter because it can get so nasty, and good for them. I like the platform to be able. Oh man, did you hear that?
Is that thunder?
Yeah, that was lightning right off the.
Oh my God!
Yeah, wow.
Wait, by the way, is this the kitchen where the smelly tuna was?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago? Okay, good. I'm glad you threw that out. Yeah.
So I'm pretty good at tuning it out, but yeah, it was pretty heady in the beginning, but you find out it's pretty empty too. I mean, most girls that may be interested in me because I'm on a TV show, not sure I want to go down that path. Taylor admits that she kind of knew, but she didn't watch. I've never got the feeling that she was all that impressed with the whole thing, honestly, which is exactly how it should be.
Yeah, exactly. Austin and Craig, they are, I guess they're having a speed bump in their relationship, and Austin seems like he's very sad every episode about the dissipation of his relationship with Craig. You have had bumps in your relationship with Craig. People want to know, where are you guys now? Are you making more of an effort to visit his pillow store more? And what do you think of him and Paige?
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is Craig can take something small and blow it up. That's sort of his MO. And I don't really go shopping in retail stores down King Street typically. But since then, I support Craig and Austin 100%, and they support me too. But I make sure I do posts about their endeavors, and I'm happy to do so, because this life is long, and you're going to need all the support and financial windfalls that you can possibly get. So, and as far as he and Paige, I'm very happy for them. I mean, listen, Craig and I worked out last night at 6 p.m. and we had a beer afterwards. We've been seeing a lot more of each other. He's been really present. I think sometimes the show can be a real mirror to yourself, good, bad, or ugly. And I think that us holding his feet to the fire at the beginning of the season really worked, and he's been really good since then. So the show can be interesting sometimes. It can be like a therapist on acid.
I was at Tom Schwartz and Tom Sandoval's new bar last night.
Nice.
I'm completely hungover right now. In the book, you say you do not get hangovers. Is that a lie? I'm really praying that's a lie. Is that still true?
It wasn't a lie for a long, long time. I open my eyes, put on clothes, and I'm ready to go again. But it's getting harder and harder.
Okay, good. But why? I love that you were like, me and Craig worked out, but then we got a beer. Like,
here's
that's
the problem.
Wild.
I can do one night, no problem. But if I go 2 nights or even 3, you can cancel that next day. Just forget about it. Don't call me. I don't want to hear from anybody. I'm radio silent.
I just, as a personal, like, I love the John Irving book, A Prayer for Owen Meany. I think you do too. Yeah. What books are you reading right now, or what books have meant something to you in your life? I know this is supposed to be about Southern Charm, but I'm kind of just interested in like what you're listening to, what you're reading. You were just talking about seeing Fleabag for the first time yesterday. What is getting?
We own this city. We own this city. Have you watched that on HBO?
Yes. Yeah.
That's really
it's the same people that did the Wire, I think. Yeah. Oh my God.
Shnikes. You hear that?
Yeah.
That was right there, man. That was right there. Oh, that was intense. The hair on my neck.
This is huge. This is huge for the show, you guys. If we're experiencing real weather.
Making Sense with Sam Harris. I don't know if you listen to that podcast.
No, I have not, but I know what you're talking about.
He is so insightful. One of the brightest guys out there. He doesn't kowtow to the right or the left. He's just a really sensible guy. So I listen to him a ton. As far as books, I mean, The Lonesome Dove was the best fiction book I've ever read. As far as nonfiction, all David Foster Wallace's, not short stories, his nonfiction short stories, whether it's him on a cruise ship, a supposedly fun thing I'll never do again, or him at a county fair. I love that. I love every single rock and roll biography I can get my hands on. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm reading Keith Richards for the 3rd time right now.
Did you ever read like Motley Crue's one, The Dirt?
Oh yeah. No.
Isn't that insane?
Forget about The Dirt, which is their original one. I was in New York and had a hellacious weekend of fun. And I go to the airport at JFK, and I'm, like one eye open, like just get me home. And there's a book. It's called The Heroin Diaries by Nikki Sixx.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it made me feel so much better about myself. I was like, I could breathe again.
Your book, I mean, would you consider doing a travel book? You put some of your travel diaries in there, but it seems like you really do have a lot of opinions about how this world should work, where you should go, live life to its fullest. I mean, you talk about a podcast. I mean, like what? I feel like there's something more with you at the center of it that there could be. Are you exploring any of those options?
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not gonna I'm not sour grapes at all, but Taylor and I went to Europe for a few weeks, her first time, and I hadn't been in a little while, and I wrote a page proposal to my editors, my publisher, and and my literary agent, and they were like, "It sounds awesome. However," and unfortunately, my book was released during quarantine, so I couldn't tour, I couldn't sell it. You know, I just had to like do as many posts as I could. So it's just a numbers game with them. They were like, "Yeah, I mean, you did okay. You sold X amount, but for us to give you the advancement to write another one, it's just not there." And I was like, "Oh," I threatened to write it anyway. And of course,
I mean, by the way, you should, and it would also be interesting, even just from like Taylor's brand new perspective of seeing the world.
I was
having more experience in that.
I was going to have her insert her opinions and stuff too. I thought it was a good idea, but that we'll see, man. I'm going to continue to write. I love writing. I like writing dialogue. I like writing. I've worked on some pilots that I've been trying to develop. So you haven't heard the last of my.
No. I mean, I that's what I'm saying. You seem like you really truly appreciate like comedy. You know, like I was looking at that George Carlin bit that you had put on Twitter, which did you watch that HBO documentary on Carlin?
Yeah, I did.
It was so good.
I know. You know what though? I didn't know how he was ridiculed sort of in the middle of his career. And he got kind of like play on words, and everybody was like,
they were making fun of him. Sketches about him.
I remember the SCTV that they were making fun of him. Yeah, Rick Moranis making fun of him.
Back to the show. What is your relationship with Catherine? She has been there since the beginning, and you know, it seems like you and Craig especially have such a soft spot for her, and she's gone through so much on the show. Is she somebody that is in your life, you know, when the show is not around?
If I see her, it's hugs, let's sit down, let's talk, let's catch up. But I wish I could say that we were like met for lunch on a regular basis, but we don't. And the same goes with, unfortunately, Cameron too, who's got her little daughter, and I just never see her. We talk on the phone sometimes, but it just, I see the boys more often.
What about Danny?
Never see her anymore either. So this town can be small or feel small, but like if you're on a certain side of town and you don't venture out much, you won't see the same people.
Yeah. Is there ever a part of you that would ever leave your town that you're in? I mean, it feels like you're kind of a king there, and all of you guys feel like, you know, like you're almost like gods in this town, I feel, in some ways. Is there any part of you that thinks this is, you know, I need to push on?
Yeah, I mean, I would always want to have a presence here in some way, shape, but you know, I'm a nomad, like we talked about. I've never lived anywhere longer than 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and I've been here now 10 years. I'm not saying I still love the true test of a good place is you love coming home from a vacation. Like I really truly enjoy landing and getting to my house, and I've got these great restaurants around me that I know all the bartenders and all of the owners and stuff, and everybody's so good. So I could stray for a little bit, but I would always want to have a home base here.
Does Big Craig know that Little Craig is the number one Craig?
It's so weird. He hasn't taken to it as much as I would if he got a dog named Little Shep. And see, I would like request to look after him and stuff. But
it seems like it's easy to get his goat. Like you can get at him really quickly.
Yeah.
Did you see?
He can do the same to me, but so we know each other quite well.
Did you see the scene between him and Naomi? And I thought it was really kind of telling of, I think it was at Naomi's party, and he was talking to her and he was like, I'm just sad you're not, I think you'd really like the guy that I am now. And I found that so kind of really deep and very, because Craig always seems like he's been trying to prove himself on this show to multiple people, to you, to Naomi. And I thought it was such an interesting line. And then she was like, "Stop chewing your ice." And I thought that was hysterical. Do you ever watch those and go like, wow, I'm proud of Craig and how much.
When we got on his case, we were like, look, it's good to see that you're doing well, but you can't cut yourself off from people and use that as an excuse. That the real measure, I think, a large measure of success is being able to balance your friendships and your business relationships or what have you. And I mean, he and Austin are so tied together. They're like tied up in knots together. They can't get rid of one another,
Yeah. Did you Did you happen to, speaking of lightning and thunder, did you see the storm that Austin brought to Summer House last season? Did you even
I'm
watch?
aware of it.
Did you watch that? Like, he created a huge mess, Shep. Like, he was romantically involved with multiple cast members, and truly, I had to start a petition to get Shep off the show with change.org. No, sorry, to get Austin off the show with change.org. He really, I mean, do you laugh at sometimes the situations that he seems to get himself into?
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is he was on the fence about doing it. And he was like, I was like, dude, it's 16 days. Like, just go have fun. But I mean, to me, it would be very difficult to do. You wake up and they crack open a beer, which doesn't sound that bad, but I can't do that 16 days in a row. And you can't really go anywhere, and the cameras are always around. I would just kind of lose my mind. So I like cabin fever, but it sucked for him because he can sometimes try to fight back online, and then it gets personal, and his sister tried to defend him. It was really ugly. And then I would do a post with he and I on my Instagram, and I couldn't erase the nasty comments fast enough, which is, I mean, God, people are so effed up, man. What a weird world.
But it's kind of like reality shows have turned into like pro wrestling, where it's like Hulk Hogan and all those guys, where it's like you guys, and I know you're a very real person, but we look at you as characters and we get to see this small thing. So in like the public consciousness, if you go into like, you cheated on our favorite character, then that whole weight goes off on you, just like a pro, like, when Hulk Hogan turned bad,
Yeah, it feels that way. And so you're just like, okay, I'm the villain. Okay, here it comes. And you try to be as graceful as you can and not be like, let me tell your brother about
Bill Murray had
the new world order is coming for you.
By the way, that would be great if Austin leaned into it. It was like, I'm your villain, brother. Yeah.
Dude, have you watched on A&E? They have like WWE like biographies, and like I used to love it when I was 10 and 12 years old.
Yeah.
But I've been watching it, and it's enthralling because these people's lives are so crazy. You need to check it out on A&E.
Oh,
the WWE superstars biography.
Well, that's like the business behind that stuff of like trying to get that off the ground, like Vince McMahon, and then like these guys were like modern day actors, like I would be remiss if I didn't get to ask you. We had a big marriage over the weekend, and I really do love your celebrity takes. Also, this ties into relationships. Ben Affleck and J-Lo tied the knot after 20 years. Their first time they were going to tie the knot, and then 20 years has passed. I do like your take on celebrity culture. Do you have any feelings about this? And also, it's like a relationship. Like this almost, this is a dude in his 50s that has now settled down again with J-Lo.
I got mixed emotions about it. I mean, it wasn't like Ben Affleck sort of fashioning himself as like a really smart guy. He like won poker tournaments, and he did.
Yeah.
He wrote Good Will Hunting, and like produced an Argo and all this stuff. So and now he's with like four-time divorced pop singer who I don't think anybody thinks is like. Has any really deep insights, but I could be wrong.
This is a hot take. This is a hot take. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so it's kind of weird. It just makes you think like, what do they talk about?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what.
I mean, and so much money's involved. It's like the same thing about, like, I always think about the Kardashians now are such a brand and a business rather than actually real people, where I'm like, that would be so like Bill Murray has that quote that I know you probably know of, like, people are like, what's it like to be rich and famous? And he's like, it would be just great. He goes, it'd be great to just be rich. Famous is so good sometimes. And I'm like, wouldn't it be horrible to have all anonymity gone,
Rich sounds good. Better than being poor and famous.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like that's fun.
Are you looking forward to going to Bravocon in October? People want to know.
Yeah, of course I am. That was such a cool experience the first time around. We didn't know what to expect. And because of you got the internet trolls and they seem so prevalent sometimes and so loud. I mean, the loudest, the squeakiest wheel gets all the attention kind of thing. And so we didn't know what to expect because we knew that these were rabid fans, of course, and we didn't know how rabid they were. And it turns out they were benign rabid fans, and they were so happy to see us. and we felt all the love, and they chased us down the street like we were
the Beatles.
Hard Day's Night. Yeah. I can't think of a better sort of affirmation of what we're trying to do by putting our lives on TV, which is distracting, entertaining people who need it and want it. And so entertainment in all its forms, I've learned over the years is, I might have been snobby before about it, but now I just think, hey, if it gives someone joy, what the hell is wrong with that? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like, lean in. The world's so tough right now that these are, like I always say, the pop culture. It's like, this is the stuff we love. Love it with all your heart. Like life is hard out there. I got a couple more minutes with you. Is there one scene that you could cut out that like your parents were pissed about? Is there one thing of like going back in 100 episodes, like this one, I just want out. I want excised from I want to do a James Cameron director's cut and just take this out.
Yeah. There's much more that I wish were in. I'll say that. The stuff that got cut. That's crazy.
I mean, we're sitting on like a whole nother season of Southern Charm if we just got unedited scenes that didn't make the show, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would say there was a scene with Cameron where we were cooking and I was shit-faced and I don't think anybody picked up on it, and I'm glad. Don't go back looking for it, because I was just like, oh my god, and Cameron was like, you're out of your mind. I was like, yes I am, but I think I got away with that one. And most of my interactions with Madison, I wish I could just erase.
Oh my God, Madison. Yeah. I mean, like you guys were really like supposedly at each other, but you guys are great now. I mean, not great. You're just fine.
No. We hugs and have a nice day and night and stuff like that. It's all good.
I mean, do you do any of that BS where you're all on the same text chain, like the night the show airs, or is it's like, dudes don't do that?
Used to be, not anymore. I mean, it's not as novel as it once was, and it's not as exciting. And I mean, even my family and friends, they're like, congratulations on your new season. Let us know how it goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Here is this is a literary question. Mary Shag Kill, Mary Oliver, Louisa May Alcott, and Sylvia Plath.
I only know Sylvia Plath out of that.
Okay, so that's Mary Oliver, poet. Louisa May Alcott wrote Little Women.
Oh yeah, no fucking way I read Little Women. I mean, come on. I mean, Cormac McCarthy and guys like that, and John Irving, and I guess who were at Bonfire of the Vanities, and
Tom Wolfe, Tom
Wolfe, and some of those guys, and East of Eden. I'm drawing a blank.
Steinbeck, totally.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I like. That's what I really dig. Like, you always seem to like. I love reading. It's like a lost art. And like, I'm like, oh shit, this dude likes the same stuff that I push on people, which is really, really cool. Okay. So the show, you guys, Southern Charm, of course, we recap here every week on the show. This was very exciting for all of us. Thank you so much for your time. Finally, would you do mushrooms with me someday? Would you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Okay. This is legal. This holds up in court. And what else can we expect from Southern Charm this season?
First, we'll start off microdosing, and then we'll just sort of slowly take it from there. That's the new move.
That's the move. Yeah. What can you tease anything about the rest of the season for Southern Charm?
Yeah, there's a romance that's gonna rock everybody's world. And
does it involve you?
No, nope. But you're gonna say, oh my God, Shep was right. So that's all I can say.
Okay. Well, 8 seasons in, I still think this is an insanely great reality series, and you are insanely awesome, dude. Shep Rose, you guys, please still go get his book. Go to Shep Gear. He just has a new hat that has an ice on it that I got to get.
Yeah.
Awesome. So thanks so much for your time today, man.
Ryan, man, it's good to meet a fellow literary enthusiast and a mushroom taker.
Yeah, dude, we got to do a book club. We got to do a book club.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, dude.